The qualifying process is one of the most intense you'll find anywhere to set the field for the NGK Spark Plugs World Finals. World Finals 11 for the Advanced Auto Parts Monster Jams. Scott Douglas, Mark Schrader taking a look at how we're going to get to that process.
It actually is a whole night, and really this is the third pass we're going to look at, because we're going to look at the actual qualifying runs for everybody trying to make the field for this battle for the 11th World Racing Championship. Now, one of the things to note is that they'll look a little different, Mark.
Yeah, they look a bit different, and the reason they do is they don't want to damage the bodies when, a key word you said, they're practicing as well as qualifying to get that #1 seeded spot at the top, shooting for that double down trophy. However, some other of the guys, they leave maybe the front clip on the truck, so it gives them that actual feel, so when they make that turn, they're not looking through just the roll cage and think they can cut that turn a little bit shorter than normal. So it's very important that they keep these bodies on and feel comfortable with it. Whether they take them on or off, it's all depending on each driver.
Bullet point number 3 on the screen is worth noting. The top 8 will automatically go into round number 2. Why is that significant? No one has ever won this world championship qualifying worse than 8th. The pressure's on. And we go right to the line. The guy who drew the #1 spot to come out first is Damon Bradshaw, the reigning world freestyle champion, who'd love to add the racing title in the U.S. Air Force Afterburner. Watch the turn. That always decides that this is a good-looking run. Damon Bradshaw's on it. Good
nice
time.
Nice numbers. A 16:32. That's good. First one out of the box. Alex Blackwell coming up in Captain's Curse. Remember, he went to the final round of racing last year, so we're expecting him to repeat something big here.
Yeah, Alex Blackwell has been very impressive in his first 2 runs in Captain's Curse. This is his 3rd time here in this machine. Corners nicely, but it doesn't look like he had the top end speed. 16.78.
Yeah, and he backed out of it. Just as he made that corner so perfectly, he backed out of it.
Scott Hartsock back in this event for the first time in 5 years. Remember, he was the runner-up for the World Racing Championship the very first time we came here. Been down a little bit of late. 2010's been a great year for him, but that's not what he wanted. Oh, no.
Well, things have changed, Scott, in the last 5 years, how this track has changed. The consistency of the dirt, everything has changed. So this is a learning curve for him. He's lucky to have all this time to practice.
Scotty Douglas told me, he said, nobody has won this event that hasn't been in the top 8. Well, I've got to prove them wrong, because I'm at the bottom, and I'm going to start at the bottom, and I'm going to chop my way through 23 other of these guys right to the top.
You can't prove me wrong, because that's a fact. What he can do is make history if he can do what he says. All right, let's get back to qualifying. Damon Bradshaw sits #1. Here comes World Finals veteran Chad Fortune in Superman. Knows this track well. Hasn't had a lot of racing success here, though. Washes out a little bit. You don't want to be that far out. Fortune will get a fairly clean run, but the number's not what he wanted. 17-16, unlikely to make the top 8 in this field. We'll probably see Chad in round #1. Now here's Charlie Pocket and the Monster Mutt. Again, this is a tough truck to see at him when you're racing.
You bet.
It's not a tough truck now because he's got everything peeled away to get a look at it. Nice job into the turn. Pocket's been good here, but not this time. He misses the turn. That will cost him dearly. 16.88 actually is not as bad as I thought it might be.
He had to be very fast going down that straightaway.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to get like under around 16.50 to get this top 8. Absolutely. Here's Candace Jolly, the Monster Mutt Dalmatian, her 2nd trip here to the NGK Spark Plugs World Finals. Nice job. You know, she always gets off the line strong. She's always good on the straight line. Where her fiance and tutor, Neil Elliott, has helped her is cornering, and that's a good time.
All I was hoping for was to get in the top 8, so that tomorrow we made it to the 2nd round. No headaches. We knew we were going to make it through the 1st round. You know, that's what I really was my goal. And sitting 4th right now, I'm pretty excited.
She's got a shot. She's got a shot. We'll see how that all plays out. Hey, we're on board with Cam McQueen's Nitro Circus. You get a good look at the native Canadian driving for his buddy Travis Pastrana. 16:32 from Damon Bradshaw is the time to beat. The Air Force Afterburner sits #1, but we're early in the qualifying draw. Pretty good turn as he comes around. Cam McQueen, not a bad time, but again,
not so bad.
Not quite enough muscle, though.
And he's got a little disadvantage there. He's got a 4-passenger monster truck.
He's top 8 right now, but he's not going to stay there. Here's Steve Sims, the Stone Crusher Ford out of Virginia Beach, Virginia. Boy, and here's a guy who's been very impressive, especially in freestyle. Oh, way too deep. Well, they're starting to
and
lose.
he's going to wash out.
On this right-hand lane, they're starting to lose grip, it looks like, in that turn. And if you go that wide, wow, look out. Hang on, Steve. You don't want to flip this thing now.
My pass was good up to the last stop. I tipped up the top of the ramp, bounced off. I don't think my time's that high, but you know what? It's a whole lot better than flipping over. It's a whole lot better than shutting off mid-track, so I got through it.
Next up will be Pablo Huffaker, Team Gravedigger driver, who in Vegas will take over the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Pablo, normally very fast here. Remember, he's finished as high as number 2 in the World Racing Championships before. Nice to the turn. Pretty solid looking effort from Pablo Huffaker. 16:66. Boy, that's going to be right on that cusp, I think.
Right there.
Yeah, that's going to be a bubble time. He's going to be close. He might make the top 8 with that.
They're having some difficulty in these turns here. This track, typical Vegas, you never know from hour to hour. It changes with Mother Nature. The track, as you can see, it's dusty and very slippery down in the turn.
Lindsey Wink in the built Ford Tough Blue Thunder. Little deep, but he didn't wash out. Kicks in that big Ford horsepower and crosses the Ford finish line with the best time so far. Lindsey Wink goes to number 1 at 16:19. So Blue Thunder now 1, Air Force Afterburner in the 2 spot. Here's Mark McDonald, who has always been fast here, but that was in the Safe Auto Minimizer. Now, the main El Toro Loco driver, looking to keep those speeds that he's been able to get in the past. Generally has been one of the fastest. Oh, this is a blazing run. I'll tell you how blazing.
That was smooth.
16 seconds flat.
Yeah, the perfect turn, felt good. Just put it on the floor. We got a 16 flat. I didn't know how fast it was. That's pretty fast. I think that's the fastest I've ever went out here, but it's good, it's good.
The Double Down winner a year ago was 16:50. So everything's faster tonight.
You betcha.
Here's Lee O'Donnell in Ironman. We've talked at past events that you've watched, hopefully with us on Speed, about Lee O'Donnell being an outstanding off-road racer, now converting to Monster Jam, but he was a mess coming down Thunder Alley.
Yeah, he had some trouble coming out of Thunder Alley, kind of bobbled a little bit, the turn went a little bit tight, but still,
Wow.
16
He
and a
recovered
half.
nicely.
Nice job.
Again, that'll probably be right on that cusp as Tom Mentz brings out Maximum Destruction.
He's been the fastest man ever in Vegas in miles an hour.
And in practices, he has been as fast as anybody leading up to this one. Can he now nail it when it counts, when it's money time? Good turn, Thomas. Coming for home, Tom Mentz. Wow.
16 flat.
It's an awesome run, but you know, the most important part about it is 3 runs down this track tonight. They're all in the low 16 range. That's what I'm the proudest of. I really think I got a good thing going.
Under the Monster Jam rules, we only go to 2 spots, to hundredths of a second. We don't go back to thousands. So, McDonald at 16 flat, Mentz a 16 flat. McDonald did it first. McDonald's number 1, Tom's number 2. Here's another Vegas rookie who hasn't looked like it. John Zimmer has been very fast in practice. Look at him hold the momentum in the turn. Here's another outstanding run. John Zimmer, 16:03.
It's just getting better by the second.
Wow. A 16 flat, a 16 flat, a 16:03. This is already setting up maybe to be the closest, most competitive field in history.
Yeah,
now,
the top 8 bubble is going to be very low this year, Scott.
Lupe Sosa, the advanced auto parts grinder,
Trouble.
all over the place, washing way out, coming down Thunder Alley, and that's just scraping off speed. Trying to make it up, but he washes out again in the turn. Not a great racing qualifying run for Lupe Sosa. He'll be well back and certainly will have to come out of the first round. He won't make the top 8. Now, Dennis Anderson, who's won this event twice before in Gravedigger. He knows how important qualifying is. Again, history says that you cannot get seeded into the first round. You've got to make it to round 2. Boy, so deep. Look how deep Dennis is. But he came back so strong. He may make the top 8, and that's crucial.
I felt like that I had a good smoking run going on, good speed, but then I slid kind of, long down there in the turn. But it was still, all in all, it's a pretty good, run. Everybody's running hard, dude. I'm telling you, they're fast.
John Seasock, who won this event in 2007, repeated as the World Racing Champion in 2008. John knows better than anybody. He needs to make the top 8.
And he won those races in this lane, Scott. He loves this side of the track.
Didn't carry a lot of speed into the turn, made up for it pretty good. John's always been consistent. A lot of years 1663 would be top 8.
You betcha.
It's not going to be this year. Here is Medusa, another former world racing champion. And again, we said to win the racing championship, you got to be number 1. Medusa was second fastest qualifier the year she won.
Absolutely was. She looks good
No,
up
too
until
deep,
this
too
point,
deep,
but
too
that's
deep.
slowed way down in the
Yeah,
turn
you
there.
can't get that far out. She tries to make up for it with a big blast at the end, under 17 seconds. So she'll.
Hang on, girl.
Wow, that was not where you wanted to be at the end.
When I came around the corner, it's kind of mushy around the corner, and I hit the brakes really hard. My left steering, which I've been having trouble all weekend, the left steering gave out again. I just didn't have any left steer at all, so I just had to kind of mud track it instead of dirt track it. Came around and just gagged it all the way before I knew I was in the freaking van stack, dude. I hit it hard.
On board with Adam Anderson in Taz. And again, remember, it was just a year ago that Adam's night was cut short in racing when he crashed into a tree. Now, that was in the other lane. But he's already practiced in that other
Yes,
lane,
he has.
and he looked good over there.
And we all went crazy and cheers because he was back in there for the first time on this track in that lane, and that was great to see him get back on that horse, that iron horse, and drive it again.
But now it's the right-hand turn. He's on it. Good turn by Adam Anderson, taking a shot at the top 8. 16 seconds flat, the third guy to do it.
The track was good. It's surprisingly fairly equal, you know. People are messing up in each turn. The pressure's on. Everyone was laying down great passes in practice. Now it's actual qualifying time, the money round, and people are messing up. It's anyone's game. I'm going to get ready and go down and lay down a good pass.
Well, if you can get under 16, George, you're
That's a
your
good pass.
money, because we've got 3 drivers with 16-second flats. That means right now, McDonald's 1, Mintz is 2, and Adam Anderson is 3, because it's the order that they achieved the same number. And John Zimmer's sitting there at number 4
Sure
with a
is, man.
16:03, and this is a pretty good-looking run for Bellahan, but I don't see that top-end speed there. No, 16:88, not enough. Again, not bad, and in some years, pretty good. But
where is this going here? The speeds
Wow.
are unbelievable. The ETs are incredible. Are we going to get into sub 16? Are we going to get into 15s here? This is a guy that could do it.
This is a guy that can go 15, no doubt about that. Jimmy Cretin and the Bounty Hunter. He tend to be a little inconsistent, though. A good pass followed by a bad one.
Oh, he's not going to do it here.
No. That will be
man,
a
this is the one that counts.
DNQ. He will be down near the bottom, depending on what else happens. And Jimmy Cretin, if he's going to get that first World Racing Championship this year, is going to have to do it the hard way. We're on board with Bounty Hunter.
As slippery as this track is, I just can't believe that truck hooked that hard like that. It's those big tires with the cleats on the outside. They're good for you most of the time, but in a case like that, it'll bite you, man.
Jim Kohler, who has always been better at this event in freestyle, would love to get that adventure, some racing wins this time around. He and Tom Mintz, the only 2 drivers who now will have competed at all 11 NGK Spark Plugs World Finals.
Jimmy looks good right here. This is better than what he normally looks when it comes to
he's
racing.
out in the field. He looked good for a minute.
Yeah, he did.
He forgot to turn. He was headed way to the back 40.
Wow.
1787, it'll be a lot of work for Jim Kohler to do coming out of round 1 tomorrow. Now, David Smith and King Crunch, another veteran of the Advanced Auto Parts Monster Jam Championship event in King Crunch. And David can be fast here.
Struggling a little
But,
bit.
yeah.
Oh, he's struggling big time.
Yeah, he's all over the place. Just as soon as I said he can be fast, he's not fast on this. But watch out for David Smith. 1693, again, not going to be top 8.
As always, one of the most intense qualifying you'll see in any form of motorsports is the battle, not only to be the number 1 seed, but to get into the top 8 for the NGK Spark Plugs World Finals. No exception in this 11th trip to Las Vegas.
Less than a half a second separates the top 8, the bubble, that being to get seeded into round 2 with the bye run. Amazingly enough, as we're getting the numbers called out to us, we got a 16 flat, 16:00. Okay, fine. That's the fastest time of the night. Then, oh my goodness, another 16 flat. And wouldn't you know it, another 16 flat.
What a run by Mark McDonald.
Mark McDonald has always been faster. He's been a great racer. We've known him to be exactly that, as well as a wonderful freestyle, but he is so fast on that track. he really deserved it tonight.
Man, just to be on the top here with this field, it's like a dream, you know. The winds are blowing, if you can't tell. We've been having fun. The pit party, it's been a nice day. The wind's been blowing. I didn't know how the track was going to be, but the track's fast. As you can tell, we had a bunch of fast 16 flats, so I'm just glad we came out on top, man. It's awesome.
So Mark McDonald wanting to stay humble, but obviously thrilled about the position he's in.
24 hours from now, this track is going to be completely different. Mother Nature threw us a curve tonight. Wind change different, high winds, change the track conditions. Mark McDonald prevailed.
And it's who can adapt to those changes the best that's going to be the 11th winner of the NGK Spark Plugs World Finals World Racing Championship.